Hi, I had to come back because I didn't expect to get, I really had no expectations for my last video, but people actually commented and supported me and showed love and connected, and I felt so grateful. I was so excited. I think that, like, truly the thing that I crave the most in this lifetime of mine is connecting with like-minded individuals, and I just feel very deeply and passionately about this mission of trying to kind of bring an integration um, of, Eastern and Western medicine in one place and just like creating, I feel like we need to see more people within the medical profession speaking about these things instead of kind of like shoving them under the rug because I've met like a handful of people who have similar beliefs and understandings and are awake to these concepts, but we still like hide it. We still don't embrace it or try to even change the foundation of the structure that we have right now. So hopefully I'm doing that, but I don't want to have any crazy expectations. I just wanted to say thank you or to the people that actually did engage and liked and subscribed because that made my heart very happy. Today, I kind of wanted to talk about uh, really like unlocking the innate wisdom within our bodies. I was talking about this with my close friend early this morning because she struggles a lot currently with chronic illness. And that was an experience that I had too. I struggled with chronic illness in my early 20s. And it was actually the thing that really woke me up spiritually. And I think that that is also what happens to a lot of people in this world is that chronic illness, ironically, I think really serves as this portal through which we finally wake up into our higher consciousness because we live in this very masculine world, which conditions you to constantly go, 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 go. The more that I can understand, the more that I can know, the more that I can analyze, the more that I can understand, the more that I can give myself, the better my life will be, the more connected I'll feel. But ironically, in the process of doing that, you lose yourself. And I think that there's a certain point in your life where you lose yourself enough and your body finally will start to revolt. And I think that that's when a lot of people start to experience chronic illness. I really, really do think that the root of a lot of chronic illness is really just this massive disconnection that we've gathered over like hundreds of years, and I think that we're in a time right now where these issues are rising more and more rapidly because I think on a collective level we really are like evolutionarily, if that's a word, expanding to a point where the level of like the collective consciousness is really rising, and because of that a lot of these internal discrepancies are coming up to the surface, and I think that is part of why a lot of people are presenting with struggles with chronic illness and mental illness. There's just like a level of awareness that is rising inside of us that we can't really ignore anymore. And I wanted to talk about that because whew, the journey of coming back into your intuition is so hard. It's like the hardest work that you can possibly do to surrender fully into the present moment and actually reconnect with your body. It is so, so, so hard. And I did it basically through coercion. Like I think the universe forced me because I was struggling with anorexia. Then I had like all these chronic health issues and I had like chronic SIBO that didn't go away. Then I went through this like really intense, very, very intense like Kundalini awakening process. And so it was just like my entire 20s, I'm 26 now, my entire 20s has just been like healing and then deeper layers of healing and then deeper layers of healing. But coming back to the whole concept of like unlocking the intelligence in your body, I really truly believe that that is the key to your spiritual journey. Like the key to you really evolving to your most authentic self, to your strongest expression, and to your deepest levels of joy is you coming back to your body because your spirit, your emotions, your untapped potential, your untapped wounds and pains that you haven't actually addressed yet, all of that stuff lies inside of the body. And Eckhart Tolle talks about this a lot as the concept of the pain body, which is essentially like the pain body is sort of, he calls it, he refers to it as if it's like an entity, but really it's just kind of like all of these unconscious traumas and patterns of belief systems, etc., that we've learned to avoid so deeply that it actually just gets like repressed and like the way that I imagine it is almost like this energetic knot that just gets stuck in your body because you have these repeating cycles of scarcity, fear, guilt, shame, etc. And there comes a time where your body will finally be like, it's time it's time to let this go. And that's when I think a lot of things come up as chronic illness. And I think the huge point where a lot of people, like, you either evolve towards your journey or you stay stuck in a cycle and like a downward spiral is really the way in which you're connecting with your body when this chronic illness happens or when you experience physical symptoms. Because like I was saying before, in this world we're conditioned to believe that like we're conditioned to see scarcity and fear and lack because we're so stuck in this like survival mindset that we're focusing on everything that can go wrong and how we can control the situation so that we can perpetuate our own survival. And it's good to have that because that's how you survive. But it needs to be in balance, and we've gotten so out of whack with that that it shows up even in our relationship to our body, which is like when we have symptoms, and this is kind of like the foundation of the healthcare system too, which is like when you have a symptom show up in your body, immediately what your mind thinks to itself is, okay, this is a problem. This is a problem. I need to fix it. I need to suppress this symptom. I need to get rid of this symptom. I need to make this symptom go away. It's ruining my life. Like, I need to get rid of it. I need to fix it, right? But what are you subconsciously telling your body when you're thinking to yourself, I need to fix this, or I need this to go away? You're telling yourself that you are not healed, that you are not whole as you are, that you don't have innate healing capacity because you're telling yourself that you have a problem that you cannot heal, right? And then you stay stuck in this loop because you're telling yourself that I have this problem that I need to fix. You're searching for all these solutions, right? And the process of you searching for these solutions is just, it's in psychology, it's called confirmation bias, which is really just you have a thought belief and then you take all these actions and your mind will essentially look for things in order to confirm your thought pattern. So if you believe that I need to fix my body, then your mind is going to constantly look for all of these solutions that lead to dead ends. It's going to constantly look for more symptoms. It's going to constantly look for more ways that your body is like effed up. And that's just going to reaffirm the original thought belief. And then you stay stuck in this cycle forever and ever and ever. And that's how we see people cycling through the healthcare system. And to break the cycle is to embrace what seems very radical, but is not actually that radical. The concept that my body is not actually this thing that's like separate. Like, it's not this thing that I have to control. My symptoms are not these separate like experiences from me that I'm a victim, right? I think it really comes down to this victim consciousness that chronic illness forces you to get out of. Like, it literally will force you to get out of the victim consciousness and the idea that these symptoms are happening to me, I must control it, I must fix it, etc. Because when you're operating out of fear, you're operating out of being a victim because you don't believe that you have the strength, you don't believe you have the resilience, you don't believe that you have the healing power to overcome the thing that you're experiencing. And so I think that the really powerful shift that you have to have in your mind, whether you're dealing with chronic illness or not, like if you're just wanting to come back to yourself and reconnect to your body, is realizing that your physical sensations in your body, your symptoms or your emotions or your even like inspiration and connection to yourself, it's not separate from you. Like when you experience a symptom in your body, it really just is your physical body is literally communicating with you. Like there is an intelligence in your body and it's straight up sending you a message so that you can level your consciousness up. And I think that we miss that point. We miss the point that this is like an opportunity for us to connect to our bodies deeper, to purge some sort of an unconscious message that we were not aware of before so that we can become more connected, more embodied, and more empowered. But we miss that. We stay so much in the lack that we don't see it as a opportunity for growth. And so really, I think coming back into that abundance mindset is the key, and to realize that if you want to feel whole, if you want to feel empowered, if you want to feel in alignment, you have to let go of the whole control narrative, the whole narrative, that whole like masculine concept of I must fix myself. Like, you have to let go of that. Um, and it's really hard. Like, that is such a hard process to go through, and it takes a really, really long time to get to a place where you can at least be a little bit more stable. It's so hard. Um, but yeah, and I really think that talking about like physical health and physical symptoms, like for me, the thing that really led me to like literally miraculously heal was that I think I had enough of my own shit. Like I woke up one day and I was just like, I had this, I still remember I was sitting on my bed and I had this massive realization where something just like, it was like a divine download in my brain and something just clicked in my head where I had this realization. I was like, oh my God, like I am identifying with this illness so much. I've created a whole identity out of it. And not only did I create an identity out of it, I've judged it so much to the point that I'm resisting it. I keep telling myself, I have to fix this. My body has a problem. I can't do this because of my issues. I can't do that. I can't eat this. I can't live like this. I have to give up my early 20s because of this. Like, I created so much of this story and this like separation from my body through the judgment that I didn't allow myself to actually experience the alchemy that my body was trying to actually like spark and incite inside of me. And the second I had that realization, it was like all of a sudden the resistance went away. And all of a sudden I started to experience my physical symptoms that I was having like as if it was literally like straight up like one-on-one communication with the intelligence of my body. And I started to realize that there was an underlying message that was coming through my symptoms that I was totally missing. And it wasn't about eating the right amount of fiber. It wasn't about working out. It wasn't about getting enough protein. It wasn't about drinking my electrolytes. It wasn't about journaling. Like the message was that I have been resisting my own authenticity, my own joy, my own self-expression for so long because I got so stuck in this like hyper masculine identity that I am literally making myself sick. And I had that realization and I literally like miraculously healed in a few weeks. And then obviously over time I got better and better, but it was like this very massive transformation that happened through the realization that my symptoms are not separate from my body. Like my symptoms are my body communicating to me. And it is like your physical symptoms is your intuition, coming back to the original point of intuition. Like your physical symptoms, they are your intuition speaking you. Like that is the most like conscious, most intelligent part of your body, literally serving you on a silver platter the path to your own awakening and the path to your own consciousness, right? It's just a matter of can you really like peel apart the layers of that messaging, or are you going to stay stuck on the surface and just judge it, try to fix it, try to create a story out of it, try to resist it? And once you really have that big surrender moment, it's still like you still have smaller surrender moments that happen after that. But I think that first big moment that you have when it comes to your relationship to your body changes everything for the rest of your life, because that's when you really start to see your body as divine and you start to see your body as a vessel, and you realize that everything that's happening in your body is happening through you, and it's all happening as this like divine orchestration of an expansion, right? Constantly contracting and expanding, and you start to live in a flow where life truly feels like it's this dance and this art, and that nothing bad can really happen to you. Like when challenging things happen, they happen, but it always alchemizes, it always transforms itself into this higher expression, and on the other side of that pain that you experience, like physical or emotional or mental in your body, on the other side of it was always a better version of you. But you don't get through that transformation. You don't go from point A to point B by constantly staying in this cycle of rejecting and judging yourself, right? You don't get there by judging. You have to let yourself get into this state of allowance and retraining your body to get into a state of allowance, because this society doesn't really teach you to do that. It teaches you to do the opposite. It teaches you to constantly be in a state of friction and fear and shame and making yourself small. So yeah, that's my rant for today. I just feel very passionately about that. I feel like it's kind of the foundation of everything in life is your connection to your body. And it's just something that is not talked about. And I feel like, the medical system is literally the place that you go to learn about your health and to learn about your body, and it's like the most key part is the thing that is tucked away and hidden so far. So far. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully if anybody relates, if they're going through something like that, that's helpful. I would love to hear anybody else's experiences if you feel like going through chronic illness or any struggles with your physical body was something that really woke you up. I think it's so fascinating the way that chronic illness and physical illness like just wakes people up. I feel like people that I've met that have suffered with chronic illness almost always have had like an experience of like spiritual awakening that's accompanied it in some kind of way. Um, Not everyone though. I think it has to be like a conscious choice that you make. Sometimes it's unconscious too. Sometimes you just suffer enough and then your ego's like, I'm done, I'm surrendering, and you have all of these kind of experiences afterwards, which is what happened to me. But yeah, I hope everybody has a beautiful full moon rest of their day. I hope you're releasing everything you need to release. I hope you're taking care of your body. And I hope you have a blessed rest of the day.